Turkey, the country, drops the US dollar, won't accept calls from the White House. Add that country to the list. Welcome to the world of Democrats, they say. No, welcome to the world of politicians, both Democrats and Republicans. These guys are the Mafia Family A and Mafia Family B. U.S. ally cuts off communications with Obama and seeks new trade outside U.S. dollar. On July 21st, Turkish Prime Minister Mr. Erdogan spoke in an interview with Turkey's ATV television and confirmed that his office had cut off direct communications with President Obama and in fact were no longer even answering calls received from the White House. In addition to the startling announcement regarding a long-standing U.S. ally, the Russian Ministry of Economic Development followed this up with a press release that stated that Turkey was quickly moving away from their reliance on the dollar as the global reserve currency and is seeking increased trade with Russia and a mutually beneficial exchange of self-contained sovereign currencies. Turkey's cold shoulder against President Obama and the U.S. began shortly after the Syrian crisis failure by the United States back in September 2013. And since that time, Turkey has begun to move away from its U.S. alliance and has started seeking increased trade agreements with America's primary adversary, Russia. Already the 8th-ranked trading partner for Russia, Turkey is proposing an even greater share of this pie and is willing to accede to Russia and China's agenda for a de-dollarized trade system that cuts out the reserve currency from most or all transactions. Oh, so they're working with Russia, and this is since 2013 September roughly. This little rift or what have you came to fruition. And you mean to tell me that by chance our government, our media, which has already admitted we really don't have any proof, we're just kind of regurgitating what we found on some social media websites, that Russia is responsible for shooting down that plane, basically, MH17, another Malaysian Airlines, over Ukraine. It was the Russians, they did it. So everyone's moving to work with Russia, simultaneously saying we don't want to really deal with the dollar, US dollar, anymore. We're pretty much done with that whole country, as a matter of fact. You got Turkey not even want to answer the calls. Now, what I'm trying to remember, was it Turkey or was it Afghanistan that recently President Obama, trying to think, didn't he land somewhere over there, one of those countries, and went to talk to some people and tried to ask, the Prime Minister, do you want to come over, come over here while I give a speech, let's chat a little bit. And the news played it as, well, he had previous engagements and was quite busy at that time, so he couldn't meet President Obama. What I don't remember if that was Afghanistan or if that was Pakistan, maybe in Pakistan, or Turkey. I want to say it might have been Pakistan, actually. So we've got a couple of cold shoulders. If anybody out there thinks for 1 second the Russians had something to do with shooting down of this passenger airline, you are a flipping retarded moron, because you have bought the propaganda. Yeah, but I saw a poll. I read a poll that said most Americans thought this it. Oh, really? Did you put that poll together? No. Who did? Well, some mainstream media site like CNN. Matter of fact, it was a CNN poll. Really? The same CNN that's been caught over and over and again faking the news, using green screen technologies to make it look like the reporters are on scene somewhere, and they're not, and they're even claiming while they're talking, look behind me, and They're standing in front of a green screen. They're just faking everything. They go with the government's agenda 100%. So, do you want to take that organization's poll and say, yeah, that poll says most Americans think that it was the Russians? No. Spend just a few minutes of your precious time looking at alternative media sites, reading what people are saying, as well as wherever those polls are, if there are comments allowed, many times there are, and see what the comments say. And you'll see a different picture. Not to say that the government, as we've already proven, because of their advertising of trying to hire people basically for propaganda purposes on the internet, they want to hire people to write posts on the internet that are favorable to whatever their view is. Try to sway the public's opinion. Those documents have come out. I mean, this isn't made up stuff. The whole world, as I've mentioned, I can't give myself all the credit here for sure. Webbot, Lindsey Williams, I mean, the death of the dollar. You want to talk about that meme from the Webbot, the death of the dollar. This is just this one tiny, minuscule event of Turkey saying, look, we don't even want to take we ain't even take a phone call to the White House. Put them on block. You know, call the phone company and put them on block so that when they call, don't even ring the phone. Oh, and by the way, we're going to work with Russia. Different basket of currencies. Don't want to use a dollar in that basket at all. So, this is just proof that all these things I've mentioned over the years, tried to explain to people, this is what's going on, this is actually what's happening in the future, this is why they want it to happen, because they're going to be dumping the dollar, they're going to make the dollar crash, world reserve currency status, it is going away, etc. So the only thing I'm thinking of right now that it may be a possibility, you know, there's these maps and stuff that came out from, you know, these 4-star generals or whatever, and it showed all these different regions of the earth basically in the future, and there's the Asian block, and then there's the North American block, and right, all these different blocks. And once again, the North American one basically is Mexico, America, and the United States. Oh, the old Amero, remember that thing? The free trade agreement. They're running these like interstate systems, taking people's land so that they can build these roads that just go right through Mexico, United States, up to Canada, you know, the free trade corridor and all that nonsense. What do you suppose that was for? Obviously, we, I think, are going to do what Turkey's doing. Oh, we're going to join this block of currency, these countries, these BRICS nations, we want to be a part of that. So we, on the other hand, I'm going to just go out here on a limb, oh, all these Central American, all these countries south of us, got a lot of peasants on your hands you need to get rid of, undesirables. Oh God, do we have a ton of them. Rather than fix the issues in your country, send them to America, who's also now in dire straits. They're just papering over it, covering it up. And let's have those people, many of which are gang members, come over to America. And the agreement, I'm telling you now, the agreement has been, we'll take all these people off your hand, 50, 100,000, whatever the amount total is, we'll take them off your hand so that you guys agree, and you're agreeing now, that when this new North American Union thing happens, you'll be part of it and you'll use our little currency system. So it'll be Mexico, United States, Canada, and Central and South America. You guys will be in part of this thing too. That's my thought on this. They made this massive deal with them to send all these people over here. All these poor people who are struggling over there, they have nothing to do with them, they don't have jobs, they have nothing, just send them to America. And I don't know if anyone's been in court for any length of time, but at least out this way, my part of the woods, there's a significant amount of minorities I don't know if significance is the word. I think a massive would be a better, the word massive would be better here. Massive amount of minorities completely clogging up the court system for DUI, drug charges, multiple, rap sheets a mile long of criminal activity that they've been busted for, and they think, well, let me go waste the taxpayers' dollars. I'm going to get a jury trial. I'm going to get have an interpreter, pay for the interpreter to come in, all taxpayer based, will be paid for. It's my 5th offense, DUI with drugs as well, and I think I might be able to get out of it this time. Let me use America's resources. So how did these people get here in the beginning? They must have migrated like all of us did. Our grandparents, whatever, did at one point or another. Great-great-grandparents, everyone in the world migrated over here to get away from the problems of their countries. So then we start this great country, great rules, great laws, freedom. This is fantastic. And then you have these other people now wanting, hey, let's do that again. Well, there's a problem. You can't. There's no free land anywhere else. There's no free space in the world that says, oh, hey, we can start a new country over here. It's, hey, let's go to where there's already a country that has some good rules and good freedoms. Let's go over there. The problem is you have this multiculturalism taking effect, because since our country was founded, it didn't really matter what culture you were then. We just all kind of came here, made this new thing America. They had kids, their kids had kids, their kids had kids, etc. Now we're all around. We're kind of, you could say, roughly the same culture here, regardless of, your race. So nowadays, now that we've kind of fine-tuned this big culture we have, the American way, the American lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, now you've got all these people in other cultures coming over here, completely different mindset, don't operate the same way as we do. And we're being told, at least according to Nancy Pelosi, treat these children like baby Jesus. That almost, it's a second place. It's not a first place. It is second place when compared to, if you want to know what's in the healthcare bill law, let us pass the bill first, and then you can find out what's in it. That's first place still. I don't think there will be ever any speech by any politician ever that will top that one. Let us pass the bill, even though the president said the biggest transparent presidencies you've ever seen on the face of the earth is taking place now, and everything's going to be transparent. We're going to put all these bills up on the White House for 2 or 3 days in advance so you can look them over, then we're going to pass them. Forget all that. Just let us pass the bill without you seeing what's in it, so that then you can find out what's in it if you want to know what's in it. It's like a surprise. Ooh. And boy, oh boy, was it a surprise. Not the kind of surprise you'd wish on your worst enemy. However, the point of this video is just nothing but proof that our country's dying. What it once was is what it once was. It will not be that. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if it can be it again, because history shows that these big superpowers, throughout tons and tons and tons of history, they come and they go. Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire, etc. They just come and they go. Something new comes later, things change, borders change, countries split, whatever. They do not stay the same. So why would this particular country, during this little tiny piece of history, at least in the sands of time, making of history, why would this time be different? Our politicians are doing the same thing those previous politicians did in those countries. Their president or leader or king, same thing ours is doing. The undeclared war, all that crap, go to war, go to war, go to war, but let's not call it a war, because Congress has to give us approval to declare war. So let's just say I don't even know what, we're just going to send our troops over on someone else's property and let them fight, but we're not going to call it a war. And then, as a matter of fact, we'll just send the CIA in to these countries and let them train, coach, give weapons, give money to these other groups, which is also not an act of war. So we can get away with it. Right, well, these other countries I'm telling you about from previous time, Roman Empire, etc., they did kind of the same thing. They went on this big spree of taking over places because they had a hard time paying for their debt. They had unfunded liabilities. Pension. They actually had a pension system. I did a video on this 2 or 3 times now. Roman Empire. Couldn't pay for the pension system. All the people cared about was who's going to promise me the most next. Pensions and everything else. Okay, that's the guy that's going to be head of Rome. And then they got in charge, and I'm a big shot, and damn, we don't have the money for this. I just made a promise that I cannot keep. Time to go to war. Because if we take the spoils of war, that'll help us pay our bills. But as they went on doing that, now you've conquered this new land. You got to set up a little mini government there. You've got bills to pay there. You've got troops to pay there. And all those spoils of war just went away rapidly. So let's water down the currency. Let's mix other metals in with the gold and make them smaller. Because they can't just print gold out of a mountain. They have to dig it. We, on the other hand, can print money. So there's a slight difference there. However, the unpayable debt is still there. Unfunded liabilities are still there. We have pensions. We have all these things. And as you can see, the pension system for many people, they are getting screwed over. Because of what? Because of unfunded liabilities. Their politicians promised them the pension and this and that, and they voted for them. And for a while, it works. Years and years and years and years and years and years and years, it works. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, all hell breaks loose. And we're just now entering that time when it's not working. We have been for at least the last few years. It cannot get better. It's only going to get worse. So I'm telling you now, if you ever have an opportunity where someone comes to you, a company that does your pension or whatever, says, look, we're willing to buy you out right now. Right now as it stands, you got to be 80-something years old to collect all this pension. We're willing to settle with you now, pay you a big lump sum today for this price. Take it or leave it. I'm going to go ahead and give you some advice right now. Go ahead and take it. Because the next time they contact you is going to be, we don't have the money, the funds anymore. Stock market just dived. We're in deep trouble. So now your new pension, which you get in your 80s, it'll finally be completed, is getting cut in half. Sorry about that. Go ahead and take it now. Take the little hit. They're going to make you a deal where you don't get all of it. You're going to get some of it, but a lot of it. Take the deal now. Anybody relying on a pension, you're probably going to be in trouble. I hate to say that, but that's probably the case. So if you do make a deal and you do get this lump sum of money, and I mean sometime in the near future, you may want to go out and buy some silver and sit on it. Because remember, that last final blood moon thing is September timeframe of next year, 2015. If they can hold this thing together another year, and believe me, they can, since Barack Obama has been president 2 terms now, they've held this together. They've controlled the whole thing. And as you can see, the rest of the countries, they're leaving us in a hurry, in a big hurry. But a year from now, I think we can handle that. So you give them a year from now, a little more than a year. We're in that September time frame. President's on his way out. Voting is going to be taking place any day. He'll walk away. They'll let the whole damn thing collapse, so you can't really blame it was Barack. No, it wasn't, because he's leaving. I mean, it just happened right now, but the new president hasn't stepped into the office yet, so right, they'll do another one of those. Let the whole thing collapse. You will have already voted, probably, before the collapse happens, if I had to guess. Possibly. Unless they have a candidate that's going to promise you, oh, look, the stock market just collapsed last month. Vote for me. I'll fix this. And then everyone votes for that person, and they don't fix anything. And it's another Barack Obama. It's another George Bush or George Bush Sr. All of them, it's another one of those people. Why? Because they're all the same. They're part of the club. They do what they're told. They sign it and feel like a big shot, and that's it. You think Barack Obama has the intelligence to handle a military? Does he have any kind of skill set in that area? Absolutely not. First-term senator? What kind of skills does he have? How about dealing with finances and the economy and that sort of thing? You think he's the man? But he's got a ton of stock market experience. No, 0. That's the kind of guy they love. Why? Because you can tell them, I'm your advisor in this particular area, and I'm your stock market advisor, and you need to pass this law. Write an executive order if you need to. Oh, okay. You're the boss. I mean, you're the one who knows. I'm just the president, so let me sign off on this. There you go. Good job, sir. And then they go back to their banker friends. Give me my little cut because I just got this signed for you guys. Give me my money. Had nothing to do with anything, keeping anything safe. Now everything's even riskier. Again, payoffs, corrupted politicians. This is all the same thing that's gone on for decades, centuries, you name it. Therefore, once again, why? Since these same people are in control of our entire country right now in Congress, forget the president, forget the Supreme Court, the Congress itself could handle all business. They are doing what the previous people did before them, becoming corrupt, becoming, buyouts, pay for this, sign this bill, just here, give me some money and I'll sign anything. I bet these congressmen, if you gave them enough money, would sign themselves right out of Congress and not even know it, because they're not even going to read the bill. They're just going to sign it. Oh, I drafted this, and here you go. My colleagues are going to sign this because all of us got payout money. Campaign contributions. And they'd sign themselves right out of a job. I bet they wouldn't even look. So anyways, that's all I got for you. There's a ton of videos I really need to do, but right now that's all I got for you. Take care.